Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is February 8th, 2026, and I've got some messages here for you. I hope the day is treating you kind of. So, she's Catholic, someone said. They've got a replacement. She's a strict Catholic, and they want to put her in this magistrate's position. There's some heavy magic being tossed around right now. They're talking about the plasma accelerator. A plasma accelerator generates plasma waves which carry strong electric fields. They were talking about atmospheric pressure earlier, so they could be talking about weather phenomenon being manipulated by a plasma accelerator. The word mock briefly flashed before my eyes, and to mock is to tease or to laugh at in a scornful or contemptuous manner. To mock something is to not be authentic or real. It's artificial. These nasties are talking about a woman being a perfect match, but they don't mean perfect match as in let's partner up and create with a powerful love. What they mean is the energy is intense and it can cover their density. So it's like your light is as powerful as their darkness, and they feel that you are the antidote to their need of temperance. So they want to harvest you and use your energy to bring balance to their own freaking life. They don't give a crap about you. They just want to use you to their own benefit because they don't really feel you have rights. They're talking about ascension. They want your golden ticket out of here. They're trying to get into the divine feminine's house in these upper realms. There's something about an absence. The curator said something is diminished or diminishing, and it could be that his ability to gain power or his reserve of this harvested power is diminishing. These fellows are talking about kickboxing. And in the past messages received, they were speaking about a woman being a martial artist and telling each other to be careful. A female is complaining about nightmares. They're talking about an American. For these nightmares, I mean, in 2003, when they first did their magical whatever on me, trying to get me institutionalized, I didn't sleep for years. It was like an hour and a half, and then I'd be up for 3 hours, and then I'd go back to bed and get another 2 hours of sleep, and then I'd get up and go to work. And it was that way every day for years. These nightmares were constant. You have to learn to live with it. They're talking about an American. They keep talking about Sacajawea over and over again. They keep saying her name. She and her ancestors, their lineage, have been emancipated. They have been freed from their cursed binding. Their whole race, clan, tribe, they've been emancipated. She said a couple of days ago that she and her sisters and brothers were going to hunt them. Last night I had a vision of these nasties being gathered up. They are trying to fight their expulsion from the territory. So it's a little bit of a battle, hand-to-hand combat. If they are caught in the house, in the territory of this family, they will be treated as a serious threat. That means that they are there to harm, to sabotage the soul of that family. That is their intention for sneaking around. Wild boy and wild girl wanting to gain a friend so they can convince so they can do their mental magic. A masculine said to the curator, "My condolences." The curator is speaking as though he was told that she is necessary. She is a planetary stabilizer. She is a healer, and she needs her energy to heal the planet. And they're complaining about her being incapable. And they were told he took away her opportunity. He removed her from her position and stole her life force. Whoever this woman's soulmate was centuries ago, he removed her from her opportunity. He cast her aside, sacrificed her, and then prostituted her energy lifetime after lifetime for centuries. This piece of shit has been in some kind of an authoritative position, but he's been resting and using her energy and her gifts. He took away her opportunity. And now they're complaining about her being incapable because they took away her opportunity. They didn't give her the opportunity to be in the role that God gave her. These men, in their infamous wisdom, decided that God was stupid when he gave this title and this responsibility to the mother. And they decided for centuries now, they've been REPing her, sex trafficking her, and every child that comes from her womb. They've been twisting and turning and effing up. This is that. And they want to complain about this woman being incapable of fixing the poison, toxic atmosphere that they have generated using her energy and her gifts. They disgust me. They proceeded to nearly destroy the planet and all life upon it, using her gifts, her energy. These energies and these authorities that they had no business being in because they're so freaking cruel and immature. And there's no love in them. He and his non-producers have to go because the divine feminine healers are necessary here, and they need to heal the planet from the damage that they have done. These so-called leaders, these traffickers of human life force and sexuality, making profits off of selling the energy of the power of the womb. They have the audacity to lecture anybody about responsibility regarding life. Anybody who entertains a conversation with them about this is just a fool. There's a female instructing a group of people to narrow their answer. So when they get captured or caught, or they just get asked questions upon trying to enter into this territory, they are being instructed to say as little as possible. They're not supposed to divulge too much. And another said, narrow your answer. So there's an argument here. She's trying to instruct her youngers, this bitch, on how to get into the territory and then be her little puppet and betray people. She's coaching them on how to get beyond the gate so that she can then puppet them to tear this territory down. So all of them need to be examined for this instruction and this traitorous intention. Do the deed, one of these masculines said. And another one said, she has the strength. Do the deed. This curator and his buddies are talking about this woman's attitude. Her soulmate prostituted her energy for centuries. He said he had no choice because she had an attitude. This asshole, this trafficking, this sex trafficking of women and children. These men who have put atrazine in the waters and estrogen in all of the canned goods to alter the chemistry of the masculines, to turn them more feminine and to make them their bitch, to compete with the true woman after they have been chemically castrated and altered. They want to do the deed. They want to go redrum this woman. They want to get her, they want to gang rape her, and then they want to sacrifice her and then absorb her soul value and rest in this authority, as though God gave them the gift of rainbow covenant. These men are made in the image of God, and yet they are torturers. They act like devils. They RAP children. They RAP women. If a virgin is captive, then they make sure that they gang RAP her before they unalive her so that she can't go to heaven. These are filthy excuses for masculinity, and I don't know why God hasn't wiped them out yet. To be quite honest with you, he should. I mean, I would think if I were God and I gave these men the privilege of presenting themselves as made in the image of, and if they went and destroyed if I was the Heavenly Father and these men who were given the privilege to represent as the Heavenly Father, and they did this to the mothers and the child, they tried to destroy Heavenly Father's care and love and the perception of Heavenly Father in the minds of the children and the women. Well, I can imagine that he will probably evict them out of that man suit. They're very upset that this woman doesn't want to offer diplomacy to these abusers. Diplomacy is the art and practice of managing international relations, negotiating agreements, and maintaining communications between nations. These entities, portraying themselves as leaders, diplomatic leaders, have been enjoying a planetary trafficking network, a profit system from pulling energy and sexually molesting and severely abusing girls, boys, women, men, and their sacral chakras. And then they've been going around telling the upper dimensional beings, that they were just prostitutes, that none of them had any value. Yeah. So they've been trafficking this network, and she's not offering them the opportunity to connect to the life force of the souls in the territory. They have proven their intent over centuries of practice and abuse. They are upset that she won't give them access to the family's mind, their consciousness, or their energetic essence. She has renounced everyone for what they have done here. They're not trustworthy around the souls of these beautiful new lives that we know as children. They are very intentionally wanting to replace her. They are hunting her as they are being hunted. She doesn't want to do business with slavers, with those people who have been enslaving her family. And her family, by the way, is not just light-skinned, brown-skinned, black-skinned, red-skinned, yellow-skinned. It doesn't have anything to do with the skin. And it doesn't have anything to do with religion. It has everything to do with being and creating or acting and siphoning, abusing. So she doesn't want to do business with slavers, pirates, and none of them are allowed in the territory because they've been RAPing the children and eating them. They will be hunted if they try to sneak in the territory. Sacajawea has stated that her sisters and her brothers are out there hunting them. And they're not going to play this game of giving your guests the best of everything anymore. They remember and they have learned from their history. They've been emancipated, and these nasties that are coming back in there trying to play friends and give stupid little opportunities that nobody can match the Creator's opportunities. These ones have been emancipated from the deceitful curses and convictions. And now these misogynist tyrants want to attack the 3D vessel of this magistrate, this dignitary in this territory, to capture the essence and the covenants again that God has given her. They're calling her as harvest. their inheritance. They're targeting a direct descendant of a very high dimensional masculine. We are going to have to wait and see the mighty power of God. The mother said to be prepared, that they won't survive and they will not be obtaining your energy or your essence. They will not curse your land. They will not curse your business. And apparently you've got 1,000 years ahead of you with age regression. So you will become young again. You've got a guarantee. And yet these nasties will keep coming, and they will keep coming to your beautiful light. They will keep coming like moths to the flame, and they will be hunted and then removed. It's going to get interesting. They may be losing their minds because they're getting wacky. So it could be tricky. You got a bunch of psychos out there that have no moral or ethical value. It sounded like the curator said, dispatch. And then it sounded like another masculine said, dispatch unit. A specialized team or system responsible for coordinating, assigning, and managing personnel, or resources. A dispatch unit, such as the police or the firemen or the ambulance, SWAT, something. I don't know, take it as it resonates. One is saying to another, he had a hidden agenda. And the one he's speaking to said, she needs her medicine. So we got a bunch of people here that have been working with this curator. They've been doing magic over the minds of the people. They have been hurting people, and they have missed their opportunity for a sacrifice. They did not get their savior. So now they're targeting this woman who has offered herself into and been enfolded into another family. And yet you've got these ones that are wanting to reclaim her, capture her, and take her inheritance away from her. They're trying to convince each other that she's worthy of being present. But in the past, when she was there, they deceitfully convicted her of a crime that she did not do, and then they unalived her while keeping all of her authority. These ones are not trustworthy, regardless of how lovingly they look at you. They have an insatiable need. You were their power source. You were their dream come true. And they stuck you in a hellhole and then took big shits on you. And God lifted you out of that hellhole and put you in this position. And now they want to come in and schmooze you and take it away. They want to command it. They're saying that because you need medicine, that it disqualifies you. But this medicine that they say you need isn't necessarily a medicine that you need. It's a medicine that you use. And I feel that it's most likely because of the medical insurance that we pay for pigeonholes us into the sick care system that they call medical field. And they do not allow people to go use the naturopathy, the homeopathy, to bring homeostasis to the body. So they take the money and they force you to buy medical insurance, but you are not able to use that medical insurance to go see a holistic doctor. So they kind of pigeonhole everybody into sick care. I feel that that's what happened to you perhaps in the previous years, and you just kind of got into the flow of that. They're trying to cast the illusion that you need it. And I feel what you need is a non-toxic environment and a more holistic solution to whatever it is that you got going on. These ones are trying to cast the illusion that you need their medicine, and therefore they have the right to possess you. And the fact is that they are a liar and a thief and a murderer and a worthless coward who lost their energy supply that was fueling their magic, and now they are weak. And they need an energy supply. so that they can then brutalize people with it. One masculine said to another, he promised her. And the other one said, he promises everybody. And then they're talking about liquefying her. This curator has talked about dissolving feminines and then harvesting their life force. So they liquefy people. I don't know what that means. What do? They have a big vat of acid that they just throw a soul into? Is this the way that they dispose of bodies? They replace them with clones, whatever? It does not pay to make deals with the devil. They keep giving the collective brutal, torturous deaths. And they keep complaining that we keep reincarnating. It upsets them so very bad. And it's just so sad because obviously there's no loyalty among thieves. These nasty jacks have entangled themselves in our energy like this for centuries, and they feel they own all of life upon the planet. They know exactly who we are. They've been assigning us numbers and tracking us for lifetimes, gathering the records of our wages, what we have earned, and then taking their portion in taxes. This is their slave master payment for loaning your labor to somebody else. They've been at this a long time. The curator is saying they think she's a virgin, and she is virgin-like for many, many years of celibacy. Her essence is virginal and powerful in its purity. Now, I don't know about you, but it's like I've got 16 years of celibacy, and it was like, just a brief moment, and then another 5 years before that. So it's like in the last 21 years, I've had like very brief encounters. So my energy is very pure. They say that every 7 years, your cellular structure is replenished and renewed. Like everything is brand new after 7 years. Everything is like completely rebuilt. And that's why we change our appearances over time, is because slowly we are replacing every cell, everything inside of us is refreshed and renewed. And so energetically, I mean, for somebody that's had 21 years of celibacy with maybe one or two encounters is like phenomenal. It's a phenomenal, pure energy. These ones have been violating children, 4-year-olds, babies, in order to defile them and strip from them their purity, so that they would not qualify. They didn't want any. They've been doing this for a long time. They've been violating life just so they can defile it and that nobody would ever be able to come up and challenge them. They've been attacking the babies in order to do this, to fuck up their minds, to fracture their souls, to harvest them. Anyone caught sneaking into the territory is of the intent to do harm, to spy, to gather intel, and then to cause chaos. We know now that those who invite themselves into our home without our invitation are merely there trespassing with the unselfish intent to pirate the wealth of the territory. These ones want to capture flesh temples and replace them after soul and covenant transfer. They want to get their moles, their espionage agents, their copycats back up in there. They use the prisoner of war, their body, their temple, their consciousness as a connector and bridge into this space. They just have to transfer this information into their copycat, their espionage agent. Their trespass is a very serious offense. They mean to take the life and the value of this family's soul. Therefore, they must be treated harshly. They're calling this magistrate, this dignitary, a tyrant because she won't give them the family's money. She won't let them live in the family's house. She won't let them, these who have been trafficking and RAPing the children and harvesting their souls, she won't let them in the territory where this precious family's soul resides. They're calling her a tyrant. They're being told they have a double standard because they have brutalized and tyrannized everybody and everything, especially the women and children, while they've been, like I said, chemically castrating and altering the genders of the masculine, making them more feminine so that they desire to be cornholioed and that they desire to compete with the mother, the figure, the wife, the woman. Very intentional. They need a battery, and they use suns and stars, those bodies, those temples that house the light of the Most High. They need this battery. These entities appear to be entities that have augmented with AI. They have disconnected themselves from life source, and they need the power of the womb in order to generate for themselves an antidote called life. It's not the mother's responsibility or any of that which comes from her womb to make this okay for them. They cannot come back through the womb, so they have been capturing and trapping the womb and then utilizing it to power their leadership. Somebody is saying it is mandatory that they be respectful of this woman. So there is a no contact order of protection, and it is mandatory that they be respectful of this woman. However, you can hear from these notes that they are not obeying the command. It got real quiet, and then somebody said, she's intuitive. I like this person. These ones here seem to be entities that like to take over the identity of people. These are those body snatchers, pod people, body snatchers. And the way they seem to do that is through relationship or an energetic entanglement of reckless sex, and some kind of soul transfer, memory transfer. I've used the example of iPhone to iPhone. Like when they have the reckless sex, it's like they download. It's like, that's like they pair the iPhones. Your soul value is not my soul value. And then they take all of your knowledge and all of your wisdom, and they go out there in the world and they pretend that they actually accrued that and earned that wisdom for themselves, when all they are is just an actor pretending that they have lived your experiences. And then they mislead people because they have no idea how you did what you did or how you got this information that they have uploaded into themselves. There's something about the children will be safe. So it seems to me there's a new global enterprise where there will be some kind of an execution for pedophiles. This mental disorder does not give them the right to shatter the soul of a new child, to destroy their potential from the get-go. No, they don't get that privilege. And they're very upset and calling her a tyrant. It's like, get out of here. So there's talking about prophecy. He's saying that she has no idea what's going to happen to her. It seems they have plans to consume her. In the past, they said that the Satan was going to unalive and consume the soul value and the covenants and all of that of the strongest two. So the strongest female and the strongest male who gathered the greatest covenants with God, these Satan and whoever else is out there that wants to compete for somebody else's privilege that they have not earned for themselves. And it's not a compete. They just want to brutalize and harm somebody and steal. It's a pirate, man. This isn't a competition. It's flat out piracy of somebody who does not have the ability to accrue or earn such a reward. There are new rules about who is permitted in the house of the children. They're saying they have to do something. They can't be in the house of these children. The mothers are like, no, you're not coming near these children. And these traffickers are furious about it because that was their energy source. That's how they got the magic to work. This territory has maximum security. The children are going to be safe. And it seems it will be a beautiful paradise that's protected, like an Eden. But that everything around it is going to be ravaged. They're not covered. Those who have been trafficking souls of humanity are not going to be covered by the blessings. And they're furious. They need to take it. They need to steal it. They need to command it. They need to get this woman who has received the blessings and is pouring them out onto the family. They need to grab her up and then command those blessings and then cause suffering for everybody again. God is probably going to stomp on their head. He's going to be like, because he has already said that they will not take anything from her again, ever. She can't give it back even if she wanted to, and they will never take it. These entities, sounding like men, sound like they believe that if they can unalive this woman or capture her, that they can get access to everything again. Everything that she was given in prophecy and all those upper dimensional spaces. And they can continue making war in those places. This woman is said to be a goddess of time. They had captured her last cycle, and they were mutating timelines and then creating slave races of humanity. And then they were broadcasting throughout the galaxy the lifetime story of Earth Woman, this mother that they had captured and were brutalizing. She's here again, and she's putting her foot down. These people are going to be, God is moving. This is the direct descendant of an upper dimensional God. And it could be the highest, I don't know. The daughter of a lion is what she is called. So take it as it resonates. But these nasties are in trouble because they're going to get their face chewed off or something for sure. She is an emancipated prisoner of war who is now a communications device, a vessel for God, who is calling judgment upon these men and their catfish and copycats. This time, apparently, it's a full reset, not just a partial one, due to the identifiable trump cards and roses being emancipated. These ones are definitely planning an infiltration into the territory. It seems like the USA is going to be in a civil war soon. The president stated that he wasn't concerned about the Epstein files because soon the USA will be in a civil war. So it's like they might be activating through frequency weaponry, some kind of, what is that called? That graphene or whatever was in the injections, or whatever nanobots, whatever they got inside of them. Not everybody got it. But, one of the examples of this manipulation is that toilet paper war. The 2 times people attacked each other in the grocery stores over toilet paper, this was a test of the system. So it seems to me that they're going to activate folks with the frequency weapons to activate whatever these people have been injected with, or whatever's in these medicines. There's like heavy metals, but I don't know if these heavy metals are nanobots or what. But it's like they're gonna activate folks with a frequency weapon, and there's gonna be some kind of a civil war. So God is gonna kick ass on these devils. Maybe that's what they are calling a civil war. I don't know. It could very well be that God, the upper dimensional beings, are going to actually be here in the physical, kicking their butt. And maybe that they're going to call that a civil war. They're going to drum up some kind of a story. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. I had a vision. There was a very big man seated in a chair. Looked like kind of a devil. Beastly. Sort of a creature. It reminded me, well, the big man was seated in this chair, and on his lap there was a long-haired cat. Now, it was seated with its face away from him. He grabbed the head of this cat, and it looked like he was trying to pet it, but he was very rough. And it reminded me of that movie of that mentally compromised fellow. He was like in the barn or whatever, and he used to pet the little rabbits. He's my friend, my friend, my friend. But he would get like too rough with them, and sometimes he would unalive them. He would like break their neck, or he would accidentally unalive them. And that's what this person kind of reminded me of. The way that he went to grab the cat's head, it was like he was trying to pet it, but he was being rough. Like he had no comprehension of what gentleness was. Yeah. It was kind of sad. But at the same time, this was like a vision that came after like one of the magic attacks. For 2 days straight, I had this heavy push in of this really angry energy. And then I had a bunch of mental rhetoric that was flowing through this angry energy. And mind you, that's just not my framework. I don't sit around for 2 days in a row. Just, what do they call that? When you obsessing over anger, that's not my personality. I just not like that. So when that happens to me, I know it's a magic attack. I breathed into it for 2 days. It was real heavy. It was after that last moon. It was really terrible. So after that eased, it was like the next day I had this dream and this vision of that cat being on this this human-like beast's lap. I think she was probably trying to cast me into that space. I don't know. But whatever it was, it looked like it backfired on her. Okay? They played the light and the dark against each other. And then I heard, they like it, they want some more of it. One masculine asked another if a female had firearms, and they're discussing it. One man said shockingly, "She's a prostitute?" And another one said, "Yeah, she's a prostitute." Perhaps that gray cat is one, and tried to swap places with an actual divine being. They might have made her into a prostitute for these lower vibrational entities, for the magic that she was trying to do on you, divine feminine. I don't know. They want to do a transfer. So they want to come and KID map somebody and then transfer memory and soul value into one of their trapped roses, and then puppet the authority and the gifts of the actual divine. These are identity thieves. And we got some folks out there that are being KID napped. They're very beautiful people. And it's like there's going to be these people, they want to siphon the soul value and the identity out of these people, and then they want to see these ones, they don't die. They're AI augmented, they don't die. So they have to harvest the soul value out of somebody as they exit out of this realm, and then they take on this new persona, this new identity, and then recycle the other one back through. And then at the gate, they take the initiation reward. Like if somebody was preaching the gospel all their life, and they got this beautiful reward for leading people to God, then these identity thieves come in at the last minute. They drag this person out of their house. They go in there and they get them into the suffering situation, and then they do the soul value transfer and the identity transfer and all of the initiation rewards and the ascension, the golden ticket and all of that this person was supposed to receive. They get recycled back into a cycle of stagnancy and suffering. And while this other entity that doesn't die because it's AI augmented kind of takes that reward and then that identity, and in the next cycle they will pretend that they are a godly person, which they are not. This is what they do. At the end, so you got people that are exiting out, and that's what they'll do. They'll go and they'll take this person's soul value, their identity, their memories, everything that they know, and then they will go to the crossroads or to this gatekeeper, and they will take the harvested rewards, the money, the status, the authority, the promotion, the leadership, and they will take it for themselves and then recycle this person back into the very bare minimum and a restart. These pedophiles RAPing 4-year-olds and tagging their little child womb must be removed from the territory. They cannot be there with their thoughts or their intentions to put that into the energy of this family. This energy, this collective consciousness, it has to remain pure of this kind of defilement, this kind of disgust, this kind of disgusting thing, because we're going to need to be able to sense it when it arrives. And so there needs to be a complete absence of it, so that should it arrive, people will be able to pick up on it just like that. They've been using this trapped essence of these sexually abused babies as they grow into adults. They've been using this trapped essence to bind others and to do magic and harm and steal, while using the energetic signature of this trapped slave, pretty much. The masculine enemy, the woman hater, they want to command this woman's energy, gifts, and wealth while violating her. And that's what they've been doing for centuries. And they start out when they're very young babies. They violate them from very young. And then they mess their minds and make them think that this is all there is. Just as they always have been. They're very upset that they haven't been able to do that yet. And their copycats are suffering. They're pleading with them to just stop. But these masculines won't stop. The fate that they have intended for this dignitary is happening to their people or tribe. Whatever they did to this woman and to the children is going to be done to their family. They're the new fodder, said God. And he also said that their intentions will be their gift. If they intend to do harm or to hurt somebody, they will have harm or hurt delivered to them. Apparently, magical soul transfer requires a relationship, an energetic entanglement that they usually use the reckless sexx for, and this permission to play in the energy. So they have to come and either be a lover, or they have to do some kind of an RAPE or something to get this energetic entanglement with the womb. From what they've been saying, complete and proper soul transfer must be a zodiac match. One masculine is saying she's necessary. That's these people who lost her. They lost their dream come true when they came for this one, and God broke that contract and released her. She's serving the indigenous people, the original people. And you've got these entities here, these nasty jacks. They're like hybrids or something. They think that they're special, but they're just pirates harvesting women and the corpuscles out of the children's spines. So this person that they're trying to harvest is a necessary presence in this realm. Her energy heals. The mother's energy heals. And these masculines and their female copycats refuse to stop trying to steal her life and her identity, to step into her shoes while they snatch her up as a prisoner of war again and treat her like a Cinderella. somebody who has no value, and yet this person is actually the only one that has value. Everybody's jealous, and so they crap all over her because they can't earn the reward that she earns time after time after time. They got to keep stealing her honor from her time after time after time, and that's what they've been doing. And I believe that's what they're doing right now. So they've lost her, and they want her back. They're very upset. They are kidnapping or kidnapping. South Node suffering and soul transfer policy is upon themselves. They want to transfer all of this stuff into themselves so that they can walk around in the authority of this divine feminine and then tell the whole world how she's a dime a dozen, how she has no value. This is what they've been doing for centuries. They have been taking the value of the divine feminine for themselves, and they've been walking around in the authority of the divine mother. These assholes want to capture this woman and transfer everything that she has been given in prophecy to themselves. May God smash them and move them out of that man's suit. They are a serious threat to families everywhere. They must be evicted out of the territory. God said that she will never give it back. He said that this is the end of their relationship with batteries. They cannot come into the territory. They cannot take anything from this woman or this family. Despite the colors of their skin or their religious background or the belief system, they are united, and they cannot have the energy of any of them. They must stop. They cannot take anything from this woman or anybody here. They have been told that they will never take anything again from this family. But it doesn't stop them from continuously attacking and trying. The mother said to be prepared, that they will not survive the attempt to steal your honor again. Back in the day, in the beginning of my spiritual battle, these men introduced themselves as the Satan, a collective of masculines. They were very thrilled about how very nasty and vicious they were and are. They've been working closely with this curator. He appears to be a Zionist, a genetic scientist who has been modifying all organic bodies through scientific experimentation and breeding programs that masquerade as some form of health care or evolution. They can't take everything. They want to be this woman. They want to do some sort of a transfer. It's like they want to become this woman. A man wants to swap identities, and this guy is pretty sick. He wants to be her, and then he wants to make love with her husband. This gender fluidity, they don't care. These masculines are from another dimensional space. They don't care who they have sex with. It's all about energy harvesting for them. They're asking about her innocence. And he may just want to do a 3D sacrifice because their magic isn't working. There's a big man suit with all of those muscles, brutalizing women and children in the image of the Father. A high-pitched frequency sounded like the voice of a tortured child crying out in pain. Now, I have listened to this sound since 2004. Okay, and I used to think that I was listening to the sound of tortured children because at one point I was. But over time, it seems to be that there is this same voice, this same tone. It's a pitch, a frequency. And it has been the same as it's been for over 20 years, but it's like it's a recording of this suffering on a loop. And it's like they're playing this suffering sound into the subconscious of humanity. It's into the subliminal parts of the human mind. And I really feel that it's this frequency as to why people are in the fight or flight mode, why they seem to be in survival mode all the time. And they fortify this interference by stealing the wages of people and not giving them enough to live on. So it makes survival mode very realistic. These masculines are complaining about cannabis. He's being told that she uses it responsibly. It's an herbal pain medicine and anti-inflammatory when used correctly. That does not rot the kidneys and it does not mess the mind. It's medicine, like an Aleve or a Tylenol. I feel that, like certain components like CBD or CBC, which are the pain and the anti-inflammatory, or the CBG, which is a mood elevator, like it could be utilized as some kind of a antidepressant or whatever, but it's natural. And I feel that it actually interferes with these one's ability or to their attempt to drive the mind. I feel like it changes the frequency, or it changes whatever frequency path they're on, and as soon as you change the frequency up, it's like whatever they're attempting to do kind of fails. Now, I'm not recommending cannabis to anybody for sure, because my path is not like others, and what works for me and can send other people into a psychosis. So really do your research and be very careful would be my suggestion. They want to remove all that is helping these divine beings with homeostasis so that they can get an upper hand on the mind and the energy of these temples housing spirit and soul, these power forces. It's used as a medicine, not as a drug. So it's this cannabis, so the components within it are used as a medicine, not a drug, but they're trying to paint her as an addict. And like, these guys have been using this storyline for centuries, and it's just ridiculous. It's so freaking ignorant. It's an accusation and a claim that is false, based in ignorance and a desire to be a tyrant and just abuse people through falsity. They've been getting away with it for a long time. Their magic was very potent because they were using the magic of trapped sacrifices, the trump cards and the roses. Some people actually care about the organs of their body, their temple, especially if they have had a parent die of kidney failure due to the prolonged use of these medicines. Some people like me, like my mother, died of kidney failure because of these stupid medicines. I don't like medicines. I don't need medicines. What I need is a non-toxic environment, and I need holistic care. I need the mother's medicines, and I need a non-poisoned food supply. I need fresh, clear water, and I need fresh, clear air. And I need these guys to stay out of the mental body of the collective consciousness. They don't have any business being in here subliminally programming the sounds of tortured children crying out in this pain into the subconscious of the minds of people, keeping them into fight or flight or survival mode, especially when they've been strapping their finances and stealing their homes from them. It makes it very challenging to get along when they're programmed like this. Whatever you pour into a woman will be amplified. Whatever seeds you plant in her will be your return. This collective of magicians focused on the woman. They poured all of their hate, their desire for her failure, her death, into her. They slandered her in the most foul way with their words. These unknown men. They rejected her, demoted her in their minds to the status of a worthless person. And now that they are coming forward to talk to her, seeking collaboration. The only energy she has to share with them is the energy that they poured into her, amplified. They planted their seeds of hate. And that's all that they're going to collect. And fortunately for her, I don't believe it's hate. I think it's more like apathy. She just no longer has any care for them. And God stated that she will no longer support them or give anything to them. So it's like, I feel that in this last attempt that they made on her life in the spirit, and she survived, I really feel that God said, you know what, enough is enough. And I feel that that was like enough to just cut all the cords with them. All the contracts were broken. Everything was broken. And so every ounce of empathy that kept her forgiving. And God said that she had been too forgiving. She just kept forgiving. But that love, that all that, like when God said, boom, and like done, it severed all of that. And now there's nothing left except for what they poured in, which was they desired for her failure and her death and her lack. And that's all they're going to get from her. There's no more love, charity, kindness. They aren't going to be served or catered to or even given the time of day or any kind of consideration, just as they did not offer any to her. What they have poured into this woman and her soul over the centuries, the seeds that they are getting a return on now. And this solution, their solution for this disaster that they've created, is to do a soul transfer, to kidnap her, to take her out of her body, and to once again redrum her, torture her, and steal her soul value, identity, rainbow covenants, and all of the authority that God has given her in this prophecy. Her honor, once again, they want to steal. And they want to dress up in a pretty dress and pretend that they have this woman's value. Mr. Cornholio loves feeling beautiful and powerful in the mother's energy. These nasty men are insisting that she, their targeted sacrifice option, has to be innocent. And they are in love. But love to them is hate. They love to hurt you. They love to hate you. They love to see you fail. And they love to receive everything that you are, while they can stand on a pedestal and watch you suffer. They're really, really bad, non-producing, literal mother fuckers. They're going to come up with the most beautiful look of adoration in their eyes. Why? Because they are looking at you as an inheritance. Not a wife, not a partner, not as somebody that they want to know, that they want to build with. No. They're excited to receive your gifts. May they perish before they can even get out of their driveway. Amen. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.